Peggy 18.
It's no great surprise that Tom Clancy's The Division has blown us away once again. It's a year on from last E3, and it has lost none of its charm and none of that spark that we saw last time around. If anything, it seems to have gained even more. The year of talking and speculating and wondering has just built the legend of The Division up, to the point that maybe it's even in danger of tipping over and becoming something of a disappointment when it finally lands. But the more we see of it, the harder that is to believe this is looking like a stunning next-gen game.
Yeah, Ubisoft has this habit of really impressing early on and then sort of delaying the game as they like. You know, we saw that with Watch Dogs. That got revealed back in 2011, and then we had to wait so long for it, and then we almost had it, and they took it away again. And they've sort of preempted that this time around by delaying Division, way into 2015. There's not even a rough release date, and you can see why. I mean, not only is it the greatest looking thing coming out on either of these any console right now, but it's doing everything from reinventing sort of drop in drop out co-op in sort of an action game to just promoting this ridiculously awesome world. And I mean, just look at it, it looks stunning. Can I have it now?
Unfortunately not.
Do we not have a time machine?
And no, this hasn't been invented, although maybe Ubisoft's working on that for us. I think the key things we're sort of ticking off, you're looking here what they've managed to do and the key areas that have been improved from, say, last generation. Certainly, again, particle effects keep coming up this gen. There's plenty of that. You can see that in some of the effects on screen, little kind of maps and things coming up, the way things kind of disappear as well. They sort of drop away, like just gravity seems to impact them. It's really interesting. Lighting, huge deal in this generation. Just really natural lighting, procedurally generated shadows, so everything feels as real as it possibly can do. But the other key thing, as ever, is multiplayer and just really seamlessly integrated multiplayer gaming. Being able to team up with your friends and play together. And that's kind of been disguised a little bit with some of these Division trailers, which feel very scripted, as almost if you're listening to NPCs. But the idea is that you're supposed to be listening to your friends. That it's actually your friend telling you all this information. It's your friends or you dictating how you go about and play. And it's really much more emergent and much more player created than this trailer, which seems very, very heavily scripted.
Yeah, I mean, because we're so far away from this, all we can really do is make some assumptions. And one thing I am a little bit worried about for Division is for a game that seems so reliant on co-op, what happens? What is it like to inhabit this world on your own? Because it seems very bleak, like even more bleak and disastrous than, say, something like Fallout. It doesn't look like a nice place, obviously, because the world is in ruin, but is it going to be too lonely on your own? I mean, what's your position on that, John? They haven't really said anything about AI taking the sort of place of your companions that much, aside from that initial E3 reveal. And the big focus has obviously been on the Snowdrop engine ever since then, because it looks ridiculous. So where do you sit on that?
I think it'd be nice if there was a sort of strong single-player element to this game, but I think what we're seeing more and more is that actually just if a co-op experience is good enough, people will be drawn to it and you won't have any trouble finding people to play with. The likes of Evolve, for instance, is certainly looking like a game worthy of getting 4 other friends put together so you can all play and get the monster involved as well. So even if the Division is a co-op only experience when it's at its best, I don't think that will necessarily detract too badly from it. I think the more we get to play multiplayer co-op games this generation, the more inclined I think everyone's going to be to join in. But it remains just incredibly impressive. I mean, as you'll see in some of this combat, the way that glass reacts to bullets, it doesn't just shatter, it actually break through, and light will shine through different holes and create shadows and various things. Fire effects look absolutely amazing. The way the paint pots are exploding earlier is just insane.
I'd never noticed that before, and I think that is my favourite next-gen feature, is that paint. That looks amazing! Oh my god, Ubisoft. They just keep blowing me away with Division, and you know what? They're really impressing across the board with everything they're doing. Every single game this publisher is putting out right now is impressing in one way or another. Between Unity and New Rainbow Six, they're all doing something different that nobody else is even attempting. And that's why I'm not actually that bothered that it's been pushed back, because I'd rather this game deliver on the promise that we're seeing right now, which for me is the first truly next-gen experience. It doesn't matter when it comes, because I think it's what it's going to be.
It's certainly looking incredibly impressive, and as I say, it's been a year and yet it has lost none of that polish, and it looks just as fresh and new and exciting as it ever did. So it's looking forward to it, 2015.